Good evening and namaste to all from Easy Ayurveda. Welcome to the 19th session of GURUKULA. Hearty welcome to all the participants and big namaste. May I now have the privilege of welcoming and introducing Dr. Karim sir. Karim sir, guest speaker of today's session. Dr. Karim sir, hearty welcome to GURUKULA session. Namaste
so
from
much,
Easy
sir.
Ayurveda and on behalf of Easy Ayurveda and all the participants. Namaste.
Namaste, sir.
Dr. Abdul Karim sir is not new to Gurukula platform. He has presented a couple of topics already and also a couple of topics in Guru Bodha. Currently serving as professor in Department of Rasa Shastra and Vaisheshika Kalpana in Sri Satya Ayurveda Medical College and Hospital, Moradabad, UP, serving as professor in that department. So today Abdul Karim sir will be presenting on a very interesting topic, Takra, Nectar for human beings, all about buttermilk. So hopefully we'll all have an enlightened session. Abdul Karim sir, over to you.
Today we are going to discuss on Takra. As so many times we see that in even Gurukula also the discussion is going on Takra. So many interesting points are there which are going to be seen today here. Okay, Takra, a nectar for humans, as considered by our author. Come to the point of buttermilk. Before that, we have to know about that generally what we are going to be consuming. Generally, the food is considered as the one of the root cause of life and the vitality. Means for whatever the things are going to be get for our nourishment for our body, that is through food itself only. So here in Ayurveda, having the most importance has been given for the food. The wholesome and unwholesome food articles are being the positive factor for the food making for good health, as well as the positive factor for the diseases also respectively. So that Acharya Kashyapa beautifully says that Ahara is the best medicine for each and everything in any disease conditions. And in Ayurveda says that the food can be considered into four types. They are as one is drinkable, eatables, chewables, and liquidables. These four types of food are must and should be present in each and every meal of our food, especially. And if you come to the main topic, butter comes under the drinkable food. This is one of the peya form, as we are going to say in Shastra. Buttermilk is a dairy product and is being used in so many communities around the global from the centuries. We are going to be using. And for many kinds of buttermilk preparations are also be explained in all over the world. The different methods are going to be used and how it should be works here. We are going to see. In the areas of, especially in Indian subcontinent, the buttermilk is known as the conventional or an traditional buttermilk. And the areas, especially in India, the buttermilk is prepared out of curd, especially the curd itself. And in Ayurveda, it is known as the Takra. And in the form of, it's a diet, it has going to be used in our regular diet of the foods, especially. And regarding the Takra, as we're going to be say that in Vaidika Subhashita Sahitya, they have been compared. So only the title has been taken as a nectar for humans. So here a quotation has been taken from the Vaidika Subhashita Sahitya. It is mentioned that for gods in heaven, for the immortality due to the Amrita Parna. Like that, for humans also we have the Takra in there to be a immortal. The reason a beautiful quotation and correlation has been told by in Vaidika Sahitya. And another quotation is that is Takram Nakrasya Durlabha. Is saying that Takra is buttermilk. Nakra means here king of God, that is Indra, who is staying in heaven. For him also it is not easily available. Takram Nakrasya Durlabham, it has been going to be told. And Bhagavad told directly Takra is called as a nectar on earth. And in Bhagavad even too, the another specific thing regarding has been told that it is clearly stated that the person who consumes the Takra never suffer from any diseases. And where Takra has been used as a medicine for a disease, then there is never relapse of that disease. How beautifully it has been correlated, has been mentioned regarding the Takra in this context by Bhavaprakash. Takra is indicated as a single drug, as well as an Anupana, or as a Patya drug. As a whole, some medications also be used. Takra is included in the Patya Kalpana, especially in the dietetic preparations, because of its both use of dietary as well as the medicine properties. And Ayurveda says, in Ayurveda, it is given the most important for the Agni, because the Agni is the major root cause for healthy status, as well as the, if you want to be impair of our body, also depends on our Agni itself only. So almost all the kinds of Agni is disturbed, can create many kinds of disorders. So here in the literatures of Ayurveda, it is mentioned that Takra is very useful in the digestive problems and the diseases associated with the digestion, because we are going to be concentrating on the digestive file, that is Agni in the this condition here. So the useful of Takra is mentioned in several diseases, especially in Brahmi, Vidara, Shopa, Akshas. Almost all the birth rates has been going to be explained regarding this. So in this context, we are interested to see how Takra acts as a primary digestive aid in the diseases associated with the acne. In Charak Samhita, Takra is mentioned as an Agra Dravya. That is the most preferable Dravya in its group. That is one of the standard and the first drug which is going to be used as an Agra. And Takra is palatable and can be used in both prevention as well as the treatment of the disease. Takra is as well to take in winter. This is commonly what we are going to be seeing that Takra is generally used in summer seasons, especially in India, what we are going to be using. But according to the classicals, which is going to be advised that it has to be used in the winter season in Arabic scriptures. But commonly it is found that it is taken during the summer season. So proper knowledge of different properties of Takra is also be necessary. It is usually said that the diseases once cured by the Takrapana will never happen again and the person will never get ill again. Then the same sentence has been repeated here. To involve the Takra in your regular diet, it is important to know that how it is prepared and what benefit it will have in our body. That you have to be serious. Thus, according to Ayurveda, the wholesome diet with the proper metabolism and digestion helps to achieve the good health. But now come to the directly the properties of Takra. The properties of Takra is saying that here it is having according to different opinions of acharyas. I'm going to be show the table later after this one. This is the commonly I have been made it as a properties. It is having a kashaya rasa, madhur rasa along with the a bit of amla rasa. Some authors will say says that is a kashaya mudra. Some authors will say that mudra kashaya. Some authors will say that amla mudra rasa will be there. And some, especially the Shushruta, say that the kashaya rasa as an anurasa is going to be explained. And its properties, it is comes under it is a lagu, very light to digest, grahi, useful especially grahi means which holds, useful in diarrhea conditions and maybe digest. And it is going to act as a Tridosha Shamaka. But according to its properties, vipakas and all, different how it is going to be used. We are mentioning that Takra specifies the Vata and Kapha dosha, but does not vitiate the Pitta dosha specifically. So here how it is won't be vitiated. We will see that. Takra is also good as an Shoto Shodaka, which clarify the channels of the circulation. So, Acharya Charaka has cleared that although the Takra is Amla, but due to the Madhura Vipaka, it does not vitiate the Pitta dosha. That is the specificity of the Madhura Vipaka character of Takras, which is not going to be vitiate the Pitta dosha. And Takra specifies the Kapha dosha due to its Kashaya Rasa, Ushna Virya, and Vikashi and Rukshagana. That's the property in that context. It will going to specify the Kapha dosha. And because of Madhura and Amla Rasa, Madhura Rasa, Amla Rasa, and Sandra Guna, having these properties, it is properties are going to be specified the Vata dosha. So this is the different authors where they are going to be mentioned about the different properties. Here, according to Charaka, Kashaya and Amla Rasa Pradhan has been told, Gunas, Deepanagrahi, Lagu, Krishna Virya and Madhura Vipaka has explained. Shushuta, Madhura Amla Rasa has been explained. Kashaya as an Anurasa specifically. Lagu, Ruksha and Agni Dipaka, Ushna Virya and Madhura Rasa has been explained. As Astanga Sangraha as well as Hridaya, same both. Kashaya Amla Rasa Pradhana. And Bhava Prakasha especially it is mentioned as a Kashaya Madhura Rasa, Ushna Virya as well as the Madhura Vipaka. This is one table which shows the different authors and different their properties explained. Next come to the especially Yogaratnakara's specific 8 characters of the Takra has been explained. First one is mentioned as an Akshudavardhana, that is improve the appetite and relieves the eye disorders. Any Ruja, Nectar Ruja Paha is that means any pains are there, any disorders in those conditions of the eyes also be used. Pranaprada it is mentioned as a nectar, it is Pranadayaka has been explained. Tonita Mamsada, that is Rakta Mamsakara, it increases the Mamsa and Rakta, it has been. Amahara, which relieves the Ama digestion part. Abhighata, especially in trauma cases where it should be pains are there, it relieves the in that conditions also. Kaphara as well as and Vata. These are the specific 8 characters has been explained by Yoga. Now come to the method of preparations here. What our especially the reference has been taken from the Tayyadeva Nigantu, that is mentioning Bhandasya Madhye Dadi Sanidhya Hanastu Yantrena Shanairhataha Yataha Toyam Nisheshtan Praharam Vinya Toyena Takram Dashadha Krame. It is mentioned that Bhandasya Madhye Dadi Sanyat means curd has been taken. A freshly prepared curd has been taken at the center of the vessel, that is Bhanda. And then Dhanastu Entrena Chaner. For that purpose, especially churners are going to be available in olden days, and nowadays now technology is there. Instruments can be used for churning purpose, and take it and start with the slowly churning and then go on proper churning we are going to adding toyam nisheshtana. Little by little water we are going to be adding, and it has been churned for one prahara. This is reference from Kayadeva. One prahara means around 3 hours has been mentioned, but that much practically now we are not going to be do, but that's too much time it has been taken in that context, as I should say. But this reference says that maybe it has more potency by doing the one prahara complete churning has to be done. And thus the takra, how it should be there. Takra should not be too thick in consistency or not too thin in consistency. Especially these word has been told by Acharya Shushruta is mentioned in his Takra preparation method, that it is the consistency of Takra has been mentioned in here. It is not too thick and it's not too thin. Like this, Takra we have to be prepared without removing the butter. In this context it has been given. While classifications we are going to see that whether we have to add the butter, we have to remove the butter or not. Those things we are going to be saying in the further slide. Now come to the classification of takras, especially from Buratra. Here in Charaka, Shushruta and Astanga Vagbata has been saying. Charakas and Vagbatas are similar has been mentioned. That is Sneha Rahita, Ardha Snehayukta, Purna Snehayukta. Means what? Sneha Rahita means without adding any butter in that one. Means we are going to be removing complete Sneha. The Snigdata is there, whatever there, we are going to be removing from the takra. That is called as a Sneha Rahita has been explained. Ardha Snehayukta, half part of the sneha should be left and half part of the sneha should be removed. Purna sneha yukta means complete butter is there in that. We are not going to remove any buttery part in from that takra. This is told by Asanga Rudaya as well as the Charaka Samhita. And come to the according to Shushruta, he mentioned definition of takra as I already discussed. That is, it is not too thin or not so consistency in nature. Thick or thin should not be that. So while preparing, specifically he mentioned half part of the water. Means how much dadi we are going to taking. On that basis, we are going to taking the half part of water add, and we have to be churn that one and prepare the takra without removing the butter in this context. But Shushruta in heading of takra, he will remove complete the butter. But the next definition in his sloka, he mentioned the gola. Gola is we are not going to adding any water, but directly we are churning without removing the butter here in this context. That is called as a gola. Now come to the according to Dhanvantari Nigantu, it has been classified on the basis four varieties on the basis of water proportion, how much should be add, on the basis of how much butter should be we should keep, on the basis of the taste, and on the basis of the consistency. First, we are going to be seeing about the on water proportion. That is Shweta Peya, Udashvita, Takra, and Matita. Like that, it has been classified in the basis of water proportion. In Shweta Peya, he is going to adding the parts of water. One part of the dadi and two parts of water has been adding. And in anywhere in this, he is not going to be removing the takras, butters especially. Udashvita, in this context, he is going to be removing the half part of water is going to be added and he is going to be prepared. And come to the takra especially. In this context, he is going to be adding the one-third part of the water. And mathita especially without water. He is going to be preparing as like gola, as I said before. Here in matita without adding the water. This is the on the basis of water proportion. Next come to the on the basis of sneha, butter as same as Charaka and Shushruta, that is Sneha Rahita, the Sneha Yukta and Purna Sneha Yukta. And the basis of taste, we are going to make it again three types. One is Amla Takra, second one is Atyamla Takra, third one is Kashaya Madhura Takra. Means the taste is completely sour in nature, that is Amla Takra will be there. And Atyamla Takra is more in a sour taste, that is going to be Atyamla Takra and Kashaya Madhura Takra. Both the rasas are going to be seen in this context. It depends on all the how the Takra we are dadi we are going to be taking. That's a bit. And lastly, the another variety is mentioned on the basis of consistency. Tanu, Sandra, and Sandratara. Means Tanu is completely liquid in nature. Means what in this the more quantity of water has been added here. Sandra, it is in a semi-liquid in part. So here half part, one part according to the situations, which type of we required on that basis we are going to be used in the context of Sandra. And they come to the Sandratara, that is completely without adding any water, we are going to be preparing. That much consistency should be there in the context of Samrakara. Now come to the Tayyadeva Nigantu. Here he is also be explained three types, four types especially, different on the basis of water proportion, on the basis of consistency, and on the basis of Sneha. Sneha is similar, that is Sneha Rita, Sneha Yukta, and Ardha Sneha Yukta. Three types on the basis of consistency, as we already studied, that is Tanu, Sandra, and Sandrakara. Liquid, semi-liquid, and completely consistency one without adding any water. And here the specification of this acharya is he mentioned the 10 types of takras especially here. This the first one is Mathita, Udashvita, Takra, Andahata, Kalashaya, Paramatita, Galita, Ola, Shvetamatta, and then Shadava. Like that, 10 types has been explained, and all these 10 types has been going to be explained on the basis of water proportion and the sneha quantity present in that types. First one it is Matita. In Matita, without water, without Sara. Means what? Sneha has been completely removed, but without adding water. We have to churn and we have to remove the butter from that one completely. And it is especially used in the Kapha Pitta property is going to be Hara property is going to be seen in Matita especially. Udashvita. Udashvita is half part of water has been going to be added and it has going to be prepared here. That is Balavardaka. Balavardaka, it indicates that Sneha is present in this one. Means we are not going to remove any butter from this one here. Takra. Takra in this context here, 1/4 part of the water has been going to be added in this preparation and churned, and it is a Tridosha has been explained. Dandahata, that is 1.5 part of water. Means the quantity of water has been increasing. The property of the takra is going to be changing into the lagu here. So the number has been increased. And next it is telling about Kalashaya. Here 2 parts of water has been going to added and churned the body. It is also be having the lagu property in that. Paramatitha especially churned with the hands here. We are not adding any water, just churning with the Dadiya is going to be churning with the hands. So it has been mentioned. Kara means hands, Matita means churn or rubbing. Paramatita has been mentioned, churned with the hands. That is used especially property having as a tarpana. Galita. This is also be same type. And after doing the churning without adding water or anything, just it is filter with the cloth. Galita. Galita meaning is filter. This is also be used as a tarpana. Next one is Gola, as we studied, as already Shushruta said, without water with Sara. Sara means with Sneha. The complete Sneha is going to be present in it. So here, Vata Pitta, Nashaka is property is there. Shvetamatta is there. Here, equal quantity of the water means 1 part of water has been added and it is also been Lagu property. And the last one is Shadava. That is, Shadava is specifically prepared here, that is adding the fruits, especially in the takra. Means in dadi, we should add the fruits and we have to be churned. According to the fruit, the property is going to be seen in this context. Next come to the another classification, that is Bhavaprakashas. Bhavaprakasha also be, and most popular classification, I can say that one, we are studying in our UG and all, that is classification. This type, these are the 5 types which are going to be studied for the students, especially in UG in second year. BMS. Types of golas, that is 5 types has been explained. That is gola, matita, takra, udashvita, and chachika. These are the 5 types we are going to see. Chachika is a newer one. We have the addition in this done by the Acharya Bhavaprakasha. Gola, as we know that one, without water with complete sneha yukta. Vata Pitta Hara, especially indicated in Rakta Pitta, Trishna, Daha, Pratishaya. In those cases, because your Sneha is more, especially Sneha, it is going to act on Vata as well as in Pitta. So, especially the Drata is there as a Sneha in this, as a butter or a Drata. So, Vata Pitta Hara is quite naturally, and all types of Vataja and Pittaja values, it is one of the best Takra we can be used. Next one to be Matita. Matita has said that without water, but without Sara also. Complete butter has been removed. That here, Kapha Hara action will be there. Rukshata is going to be little bit more because of Sneha has been completely getting out in this. So Kapha Vadis and Kapha and Pitta Anubandha Vadis we can able to use this type of Takra can be used. And next come to the Takra. 1/4 part of water has been added here and it has going to be churned, and in this especially Sneha is going to be removed. So Kaphavata Hara has been explained here. Agnidipana, Hridya, Arushya. So it is an Arusha Dravya is there, specifically Sneha is going to be removed here, and Kapha Vata, Kapha Pradhana and Vata Anubandha Vadis we can able to be use this Takra especially. Udashvita, that is half part of water has been should be used for Prakopaka here. It is going to mean Sneha is there in this one. You won't remove the Sneha. Kapha Prakopaka is going to be mentioned. Balya and Amadosha Nashana can be done with the help of Udashvita. And next comes to the last one, that is Chachika. That is Sarahina, especially Sara means complete butter has been removed, but added the more water and churn according to the our wish, how much we have to be liquid form, that much we can able to be used in this context. Especially this is Pitta Vatara is used, Kramahara, Krishna, Pitta Vikaras and Vatada Vikaras it can be used. Next going to be classification of Takra on the basis of some properties has been given based on the milk used and indication. Different animals, especially like it has given here cows, buffaloes and goats classification. Prepared with cows, it is a Mudrakasha Rasapadana, Vatashamaka, Agnidipaka, and Rudya and Balla is there. Cows prepared milk with the buttermilk we have prepared. If it is prepared with the buffalo's milk, it is Guru and Snigdha in nature, especially. Rasa is Mudra and Kashaya will be there. And this is Vatapitta Shamaka, Kafakaraka, because of Sneha will Nidugana will be more. Adishandi also be Arshas and Gulma and Aksara conditions is going to be replies. And another is with goat's milk prepared takra, that is Snigdha and Lagu will be there, especially used in Shota, Pandu and the honey conditions. Now come to the how we should able to be administered and when it administered and what are the contraindications should be there for the administration of Takra has been going to be seen. Takra has been ideally it is indicated in the winter season and especially Kapavata Prakriti it individuals as if you go to the references, you can Shishita also be you can able to see or Kayadevani can to or Vatakasha you can able to get that clearly mentioning that it should be used in winter season and Vata, Kapha Vata, Prakriti. And it should be consumed in the conditions like especially Mandagni, low digestive power and Sotoroda blockages to the kidney and whatever disease can be used. And contraindications is specifically is going to be explaining it should not be taken in the summer season. This is a classical reference. It is going to be here. And it is also indicated in the conditions of contraindicated in the conditions Adhama Bala, very low Bala patient is there. Low Bala patient is there. In that conditions should not be used. And Pitta cases like giddiness, fainting, burning sensation, especially in Pitta cases because of Ushna Vidya, this is contraindicated and this is reference has been taken from the Shodala is also there. Kayadeva also going to be telling the same. Now come to the how much time duration, what is the Takra Sevana Kala, how much time we can able to be consumed the Takra. That is also the most important factor, how much we should able to know that we should able to use the Takra always. Now the next one is Takra Sevana Kala is going to be explained on the basis of the Sevana Kala and Karma, the sequences when we should able. The Shodala and even Charaka also be explained the same thing in this context here. He is telling the strength of the individual and strength of the disease. The consumption of takra should be done, especially. This is the most important factor, strength of the individual as well as the strength of the disease. On that basis, the consumption of takra should be done minimum for 7 days and a maximum for 1 month we can able to be used. For better effect, it should be taken in an increasing order as the maximum dose reach, then decrease the dose in the same way. Means how we are going to increasing immediately after that we never should not get stopped suddenly, so we should able to come back, means arohana and avarohana krama, means increase and come back to the normal dose again, decrease dose in the same way. This will help to increase and maintain the strength of the body and there will be an improvement of the digestive power, but one should not stop the consumption of takra suddenly. And another concept is there in here. Generally, we are, especially in South India, I think I don't know in North India about that, but in South India, we are going to be cooking the takras also. So that reference also be mentioned by our acharyas in Kayadeva. Is mentioned that cooked and uncooked takras. In uncooked takra is going to be a kostagata, kapha is going nashaka. Especially is telling about the kostagata, kapha nashaka, but increases the kantagata kapha. In the throat region, it is going to increase the kapha, which is uncooked takra. But if you're using the cooked takra, can be used in good conditions like in running noses, cough, asthma, that is kasa, shwasa. In those conditions, we can able to use the cooked takra has been going to give the reference. Next, come to the takra as an anupana, because takra can be used as I said that as a single drug, as an anupana, as a medicine, as a food, we can able to be used everywhere. So here in this context, we are going to using as an Anupana as a another drug which is going to be very means transform to transfer from easy to be to the medication, especially in Vataja doshas. Amla takra can be used in the combination with Shunti and Saindava lavana. In Pittaja doshas, Madura takra should be used with Sita, that is sugar. And in vitiated kapha doshas, Madura takra should be used with Tripatu, especially can be used in some people. Yosha, that is same. Tripatu can be used. And especially in Arshas and Atsara conditions, it is going to be used with Pingu, Jiraka, and Saindava lavana. And in Mutraput conditions, it should be used with Guda, which is going to be explained. And the last of Pandu is going to be along with the Takra and Chitraka. Churna can be used in Pandu in anemia condition. Now come to the Takra Prayoga according to Tridoshas. I have just before said, I think this is the reference. Vatamble Saindamam Petam Swadu Pitte Shakkaram. That is Vataja, so buttermilk. Vatamble, that is clearly mentioning that you should use the Amla Takra, especially in Vataja conditions. Plus Saindava Lavana should be used along with that. Next, Swadu Pitte Shakkaram. Swadu Pitte is that is sweet. Madura Takra should be used. Pitta along with the Shakkara should be used. And for the Vivet Takram Kafe, Ruksham Yoksham Shara Samyutam, it has been mentioned. In Kafaja conditions, buttermilk should be used with the Tripatu and Shara, that is Avakshara has been mentioned. And the another last word has mentioned that Sa Jalili Lavanam Takram Sarvakaleshu Sasyate. In all times, if you want to be used the Takra, we should add the Ajaji Lavanam. Sorry, Sa Ajaji Lavana. Ajaji is Jiraka, mean has been used along with the Saindava Lavana has been going to explain. This is according to the Tridosha. Now come to the indications and what our acharyas specifically they are going to be explaining about how they have been given the takra in different diseases. Krishna stated that in Jara, in especially the condition is Arochaka. Jara is due to Kapha because Agnimanda is there, indigestion is not. So takra is going to be mixed with the Yosha, that is Kripato has been going to be explained. And Vagbata also we explained especially is in the Amla Shuddha Anamla takra. It's not sour in taste. And such a takra should be as used as a patta in Jara. Only plain takra can also be given. Food cooked with this takra and it is going to increase the appetite, especially according to the Vagvatas. And if you come to the Natsara, diarrhea cases, takra can be used as an Anupana as a vehicle for light the digest here. For the Charaka also we have advised that takra Anupana for different yogas for Kafaja Sara and Charaka also advised the takra with Chitraka, especially Churna in the context of Achisara also, as well as in Pandu we see that in the past. Here also we can be used in the context of Achisara. And Vagbata is also be used as an Tarpana Yavag, gruel with the nourishing property in Achisara. That is, gruel is prepared with the takra has going to be explained in the context of Achisara, diarrhea condition. Next one to the Chardi. Charaka as advised is a Ahara Dravya, food article in the management of Kafa Chardi, especially. Normal one should be used where Kafara Chardi takra is going to be used. Next come to the respiratory disorders, where in that as an Anupana vehicle, management of Kafaja Kasa, especially where Kafa is more, that takra can be used. And Vagvata also be mentioned with takra in Shwasa Kasa, in that also you can use normal takra. And Vagbata again is mentioned that apply the thick paste of pippali. How to prepare it? This is one specific yoga has been mentioned for respiratory disorders. In this context, is mentioning that the thick paste of pippali, the papalangam, Pippali Mula, its root, Satya, that is Haritaki, Vidanga, and Chitraka Dragas are made into a fine powder and make it to be a paste inside the earthen pot here, pot. And to the inner side of the first we have to do pot has been applied with the ghee and then the paste has been applied. Then the paste gets dry till fill the earthen pot and with the takra and leave for 1 month and it is get completely fermented like takra Arista preparations are there. This takra is said to be a very good Agni Deepaka, especially in the context of Kasa disorders. Now come to the Udarroga. This is specifically Charaka has been mentioned. Around 8 types of Udarrogas are there. According to that, different types of Udarroga and different combinations of the takra preparations has been mentioned. That is Nishchayajat Udara, that is Trikatu, that is Sannipataja actually, first one. In that Trikatu, Shara, Lavana, Takra has been used. In Vataja, Pippali, Lavana and Takra can be used. In Pittaja, Sharkara plus Madhuka, Takra can be used. Kafaja, Yavani, Saindava, Ajaji, Trikatu and Takra. Lihodara, in that Madhu, Taila, Vacha, Shunti, Katavaha, Kusta, Saindava and Takra used. In Jalodara, citis condition specifically, that is Trikatu plus Takra can be used, and Bhadodara, Apusha, Yavani, Ajaji, Saindava and Takra, Chidrodara, Pipali, Chaudra and Takra can be used in this context has been going to be mentioned here. And the last one, these Charaka also indicated this Takra used as a Anupana, especially Narayana Churna is there. That is in a specific Churna where in Udaroga which is going to be used. And now come to the Shwayatu in Sodima conditions where Charaka has clearly indicated that patient of Shwayatu who is suffering from Amatisar along with that. There the Trikatu and Savarchalavana and Makshika, that is honey should be mixed and should be given for the treatment purpose here. Takra is the content of Chitrakadruta used for the treatment of Shwayat, means Chitrakadruta preparation in Takra has been used as one of the ingredient. But also advised the treatment of in Shwayatu, that is Savarchalavana, Trikatu and honey as same as Charaka. But advise again the Takra as an Anupana vehicle for Haritaki used with the Guda and Ardraka with the Guda. These are the combinations has been given in the context of Shwayatu. Anaha, the flatulence, gaseous flatulence. Bhagavata stated that Takra is one of the best anaha to remove that flatulence level. Takra is going to be best one as an elixir. He is equivalent to an elixir has been mentioned. Next come to the Gulma. Gulma also be mixed with, in this condition, Takra is mixed with the Yavani Churna, Vidlavana, Patya in the as a Patya in Gulma Roga has been given. Takra is going to be act as Agni Vipaka and Mutra and Lomaka as a Vatakafara condition. And Bhagavata says that as a Anupana, Grata with the Churna should be given, that is Trishana Adi Grata. In that preparation, Takra has been used. And the Takra is a Patya for the patients of Kapha patients, specifically means can be generally used. And another most important condition, that is Arshas, the anal rectal disorders. In almost two conditions, we are going, the Takra is one of the best Patya for the patients, especially. The management of Arshas in a broad spectrum level, Charaka advises the use of Haritaki along with the Trifla and Takra has been given here. Haritaki with Takra, Trifla with the Takra can be advised, and special formulations, especially Takra Rista in the management of upset, which are references is being available, that is can be used, the best one of the drug, price of the drug here. And all the Vataja Kafaja preparations, there Takra has been clearly mentioned. And all the those food materials that causes the Vatan Lomana and the Agni Deepana, they should use the access to patients. So Takra possesses both all the qualities we required in this condition. But also we advise the Takra as Anupana of fruits of pilu has been used along with the Takra can be given, and Takra mixed with Hapusha, Hindu and Chitraka as a Anlomana property should be given in the context of Akshat. And another the most important disease for users of Takra, that is especially this is a digestive problem, that is called as a brain square. Here Takra is in complete chapter has been mentioned where in Grahani, where he is told about the properties of Takra, properties of Agni, what is the Agni, everything has been explained by Acharya Charaka in Grahani Chikitsa Adhyaya, there is a 14 chapters, Charaka Chikitsasana. Charaka has stated that Takra is the best management of Grahani Dosha due to the Deepana, Grahi, Lagu and properties of Takra has been given, and all types of Takra should be used extensively for the management of Grahani Dosha has been mentioned on the basis of the types of Grahani. And Takra is a component of various formulations as like Takra Rista, Panchamula, Muladyagrata and its Churna in that context has been mentioned. And Charaka also we explained in the Grahani Roga, it has been used as an Apachaniya, Sangrahi, Deepaniya, as an Anupana, it is going to be used for all the type, treat the diseases. This is some of the diseases where we have been compared according to the classicals. Now come to the some of the modern concepts. What is the importance of Takra? How we can able to use that here? Here we are going to seeing the comparison between the nutritional value of buttermilk and milk. If people see the slide, almost all the comparison between per 100 gram of milk of buttermilk as well as the milk going to compare, it is having the most similar water proportion almost all the same, proteins also most all the same, fat also be nearby, a little bit changes is that way, but it's almost similarities are there in compared to fat, cholesterol, carbohydrates, minerals, vitamin B12, recall folic acid almost. So where especially the patients who are having the lactose intolerance, who are not able to going to be consumed the milk, for such people buttermilk is the best choice for instead of using the milk, the buttermilk can be used. Now come to the one small here introduction giving the comparison between the superiority of Dadi or Takra, which one is the better. How we can able to say that because Dadi Takra is prepared from out Dadi only. So here we're going to in classical references it will mention that Takra is far superior qualities than the Dadi. Directly clearly is acharyas said that here Takra is prepared from Dadi by churning the process. Due to the churning properties of Takra changes into Lagu because Dadi is Guru in it. Similarly, Takra is a Madhura in Vipaka, but Dadi is in Amla Vipaka. Because of churning, the properties Samskaram Gunavardhanam, what we are going to be changing them. Samskaras are making to changes the properties of the dravas from Dadi to Takra here. Takra specifies all the Tridoshas, but Dadi vitiates Pitta and Kapha dosha. Vitiate the Pitta and Kapha doshas. Takra is one of the best medicine for the Shota, while Dadi is the positive factor for the Shota, that is for the body. So we are comparing with the superiority of which food material is best. And another modern point is important here, going to highlight that. From modern point of view, also see the properties of buttermilk varies from those of curd. Turning process destroys the MFGM. MFGM is milk fat globule membrane. That is going to be rupturing here in this context, especially by churning the process. Thus, the buttermilk is rich in destroyed MFGM. The specific proteins, unique polar lipids, and the minor molecules like minerals, vitamin E, carotenoids, all of these membranes seems to be possess additional functional properties, especially in terms of health, especially. And currently, the research is mostly focusing on the functions of single compounds of buttermilk, like phospholipids, MSGM, Casiens, and why proteins are important, what are present in the buttermilk. Those things we are going to be seeing this further. Now come to the here, the milk fat globule membrane. What is the importance here? We are going to see. Buttermilk, especially, it is to be a rich of destroyed because MSGM is there present in the curd, but here due to the churning process that the membrane has been destroyed, whose compact compactly bound constituent such as proteins, polar lipids, minerals, etc., are released during the process of churning. These lipids are going to be released by the churning process. Effect of glycerol phospholipids on human health are very similar to those of phospholipids here. They play an important role in cell signaling and have a strong impact on the development of brain functions. That is the most important factor of importance of brain used in the takras, especially choline containing the glycerol phospholipids can positively affect congestion by ensuring ion permeability, fluidity, and the stable environment of the dynamic membrane of the adult brain. These functions are crucial for children, aging persons, and especially probably for Alzheimer's patients as well. So, this ruptured MSGM, how it is going to be helpful in this context. Here, saying that. And sphingolipids are the important components of the myelin, covering which encloses and protects the axons of the nerve cells. In addition, they seems to regulate the irritability and the transmitter releases in the nervous system. This probably explains the reason that why milk is said to be made there, according to Prayoga. See, our acharyas know that one, how it is going to be act on brain also. So it is already mentioned that in the literatures as a made there. How after the churning, how what are the components are going to be released by that, how it is going to be acts on our brain. About 120 different proteins were determined in bovine MSGM. Examples has given some MUCI, guanine, dehydrogenase oxidase, all those things. Inhibits the growth of bacteria such as Streptococcus pyogenes, Escherichia coli, and Salmonella infidis by activating the lactoperoxidase system in milk or the formation of hydrogen peroxide. Then this may be the reason why butter has been to widely indicated in Ayurveda in the various diseases of GIT and respiratory diseases that are the infectious in nature as per the modern medical sciences. Next come to the caseins in buttermilk. The protein content of buttermilk with a percentage of 3.2% corresponding approximately to the content of the skim milk. And the casein covers the 77 to 81% of all the existing proteins in buttermilk. And effects of casein on human health are increases of amino acid oxidation process and protein synthesis and strongly inhibit the proteolysis, appetite suppression, and antihypertensive immunomodulatory activities, anti-thrombotic and AAC inhibitory activities are being targeted by the casein. So in buttermilk, it is very good in it. And why proteins in buttermilk? Why proteins include the beta lactoglobulin, alpha lactoalbumin, immunoglobulin, proteose, peptones, serum albumin, lactoferrin, etc. These are the primary functions of these. Is not the nourishment, but the provision of the functional properties. Effects of why proteins on human health are strongly stimulate the amino acid oxidation and the protein synthesis, stimulate the insulin secretion, decrease the arterial stiffening, provide the protection against the intestinal, mammary, and colon cancers also. Increases the absorption of minerals, liposoluble vitamins, antimicrobial, antiviral, and immunomodulatory actions are going to seen with the help of the proteins of Takra. And Takra is a natural probiotic diet also because the friendly bacteria or the intestines and the body are found in abundance in it especially. Why proteins are present in gut means here help to increase the formation of IgA named antibodies especially. That is also be helpful. And the protein present in Takra cooperates well in the absorbing the minerals as well as particularly the calcium and the iron absorption purpose also Takra is one of the best routes. And now come to the specifically, I are going to be collected at the nutritional values of Takra. And here it is going to be mentioning that calories are 100%, total fat is 4%, and quantity is 2.2. Just you people go through this chart, cholesterol, sodium, total carbohydrates, proteins, vitamin A, vitamin C, calcium, thiamine, zinc, riboflavin, vitamin B6, foliate, vitamin B12, phosphorus, magnesium, potassium, calcium, protein, and iron. These are all the things are present in the buttermilk, especially. And the buttermilk is a rich source of, as we seen now here, potassium, calcium, phosphorus, vitamin B12, and riboflavin. Buttermilk is also good diet for those suffering from the digestive problems, as I said it. And 1 cup of buttermilk contains 2.2 grams of fat and 99 calories, whereas the whole milk contains the 8.9 grams of fat and 157 calories. Now come to the importance of nutritional values which are being seen. Vitamin B12 helps to synthesize the fatty and amino acids. It converts glucose of the body into the energy, and B12 promotes the nerve cell growth and all fights against the stress and anemia. Potassium, calcium are supposed to be beneficial for the bone health, and the buttermilk is a rich source of these two, especially potassium and calcium. And the buttermilk is very easy to digest, as so it is suggested in the digestive problems. Lactic acid of buttermilk is much friendly on digestive tract than that of the lactose of the whole milk, especially. And the riboflavin plays an important role to convert the glucose into energy as that of vitamin B12. Potassium helps to minimize the blood pressure. And the symptoms like heartburn, aggravated acid levels of the stomach can be minimized with the help of buttermilk, and it prevents the acid of the stomach to come up through esophagus by coating the lining of the stomach. The traditional buttermilk is also be helpful in weight loss and dieting purpose also. And thus buttermilk plays an important role in many conditions of the body as we see here. And now come to the traditional buttermilk, how we should ever going to be prepared in generally. Originally, buttermilk is referred to be a liquid leftover from turning butter from the cultured or fermented cream. And traditionally, before cream could be skimmed from the whole milk, the milk was left to sit for a period of time to allow the cream and milk to separate. During this time, naturally occurring the lactic acid producing the bacteria in the milk and fermented it. This facilitates the butter churning process since fat from grain with a lower pH rises more readily than that of a fresh grain. And the acidic environment also helps to prevent potentially harmful microorganisms from the growing, increasing shelf life. However, the establishment that used the cream separators, the cream was hardly acidic at all. In countries like in India, it is a favorite traditional drink during the summer as it is soothing to the stomach and alleviates the minor stomach upset. In India, flavoring ingredients like hingu, that is asafoetida, coriander leaves, ginger, curry leaves, and sea salt are mixed with the butter to enhance its digestion, aiding. And at the end, came to came here, the conclusion of the regarding the Takra. Acharya Vagbhata has clearly mentioned that the root cause of all the diseases is Agni, that is Manda Agni, lower digestive power. After reviewing the therapeutic effects of Takra, it is clear that Takra has a very potent effect on Mahashvatas. Mahashvatas is complete GI tract. Takra has the potency to normalize the physiology of Mahashvatas. Takra balances all the Tridoshas of the body. Acharya Charaka has mentioned that Takra is a Agra Aushadha, as the persistent use of Takra is the best medicine for the Grahani doshas, Shofa, Odimas, Ashwas piles, and anorectal disorders, and Gruta Vapas, where the consumption of Gruta, the side effects is that in that context it can be used. And according to the Ayurveda, healthy individuals should be consumed Takra on the basis of their personalized state of dosha, avastha, agnibala, and sharirabala. On that basis only, we should consume the Takra. And the customization of the use of Takra on the basis of the disease in various patients will also explore a new area for research in medical field. And nutritional values also suggest that Takra also strengthen the immunity and helps to maintain the health by preventing the diseases. Also, on modern grounds, also it has been proven that it contains lactobacillus and acts as a natural probiotic which helps in proper digestion and absorption. This review shows the tendency and the potential of Takra that it is can positively influence on human health and it is its contribution to balanced diet without doubt. So Bhava Prakash has said that, Bhava has rightly quoted that as there is a exceller for gods, Takra is for humans. As started with the uh, title Nectar as a for humans. Takra as a nectar for humans. And these are the references where I am going to be taken and presented here. So many, all the references have been mentioned here. And the books Charaka, Shushruta, Bhavaprakasha, Tayodeva, Dhanvantari, and Vaidyakas. Thank you. Thank you, Nandal sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Karim sir, for such an elaborate A to Z coverage of Takra, which was most needed. Almost all the details, the classification, the properties, so how exactly it works, which type on which doshas, dhatus, malas, and what different type of Takras can be done as a medicine, as a food, and overall with a modern perspective and from the modern angle also. Nice presentation, and thanks on behalf of Isyarved and all our participants. Without wasting time, we'll catch up with some interesting questions in the question box. Question from Swapna ji. Any season specifications for Dashavida Takra, Karim sir?
Specifically, it has not been mentioned. They has classically said that in the winter season we can able to use the Takra, and summer is being avoided. I mentioned as a contraindication. But generally, as we know that one, whenever the conditions are, we can't able to say that the disease will be there on summer season or winter season. We won't say. According to the disease condition, we have to be arrange ourselves to be stay in such a place that and we can able to be consume the farm. That is the best.
But overall, do you have any view on adequate, like we can use Takra liberally in so and so seasons, and we need to cautiously use Takra? Overall, a general statement, since it is a part of this question.
Sure. Generally, it is one reference has also been quoted here by Kaya Devas when telling about the on the basis of doshas classification. He has been told that in all the seasons we can able to be consumed. There is no problem, especially with the Jiraka and Sandavalavana has been given. So in all the seasons also we can use.
Thank you, sir. And Vikramji has a question. Please, can you explain what is pranadayaka? You use the word pranadayaka in simple, understandable terms. What is pranadayaka?
Generally, as a title itself, which says that pranadayaka is as an elixir, as a nectar. That was
like we can take it as in living, and which like when you consume that you feel like wow. So like
yes.
a new life has been come into your
Yes.
body. So that's
Yes.
pranadayaka. The word prana, like it's like when you consume, it is pouring some life into your system.
Yes,
That's about
sometimes something we specially will have prepared and have we got from somewhere also. We feel that this is the best one what we have ever. Like it is going to be saying about the prana.
Thank you, Karim sir. And Pradnya ji has a question here. Very interesting from the clinical perspective. Can it be taken, Takra, as a gross? Can it be consumed by those who are suffering from Crohn's disease? Will it irritate the ulcers?
Yes.
Like looking at inflammatory bowel diseases. Is it wise enough?
Yes. Yes, definitely, sir. You can able to.
Okay, so the answer is yes. So for further clarifications, I think we can make the discussion, bring it to the discussion
Win.
at some other point. That can be taken, can
Yes.
be consumed during Crohn's disease. Should there be some makeup done to the takra, like in Crohn's disease, or while looking at? I think the question was basically because of the
Sir,
inflammation.
yes, because major in Crohn's disease, major affected by Agni itself, I think so. It's
Hmm.
a major cause of Agni itself only. So
Hmm.
to improve our digestive fire, according to that one, the suitable according to the doshas, we have to be select the proper medications along with the takra. If we given, definitely that is going to be helpful for the patient.
Okay, so is it better to have a Sneha Yukta? So according to one of the classifications, saying Pitta is predominant and
Yeah.
Vata can also be irritated in such conditions.
Snake, I won't be preferable, sir, because if it is snake, means kapha will increase again here. The patients will again, the problem has been going to be increased in that context.
Charu
Sneharita
Mahajan.
is the best.
Okay, thank you, sir. Charu Mahajanji, raised your hand. Kindly go ahead and speak to Karim, sir. Keep your question short, and Abdul Karim, sir, will keep his answer short. Swapnaji again has a question here. What is the difference between Danda, Hatha, Takra, and that Takra which is made by modern blenders? Right at your intro, you mentioned like we
Yes,
use
yes,
blenders nowadays. So, is there any
yes,
difference in quality, like what traditional preparation and also using blenders? What is
yes,
the difference between them?
yes. Yes, danda hatha means we are going to using any danda means churner that is going to be used as like because the names of that classification is Karamatita has been explained. Danda hatha mentioned. Danda hatha is danda means as an a wooden stick which is going to be hammered on that danda it and it should able to be make it to churn by using that one. Karamatita as I said that just use the hands. Galita is mentioned as an a filter. That as blenders what the nowadays modern people are going to use. Because
The question is, does Abdul Karim sir has an objection of using the modern blender, or
no,
does it
no, no.
make any difference using the blender?
Sir, churners and blenders, because as one example I'll give, while preparing the churnas also, we are having a different instrumentations. We are have the hammers are there, beaters are there. According to
Hmm.
that, the churna size and it will varies. In the same way, here also be the formation of the method of preparation. What our acharyas told that, especially in Karamatita and Danda, they are having a different characters. Especially in Dandahata, water proportion is more, sir. 1.5 part is there. So it is going to be need much more churning here. In
Hmm.
that context, we get into be in a lagu nature, it should be get it. So the word Danda has been going to be used.
Now
In
yeah, in modern day we feel we have blender. Why to use a churner, hand churner?
yes, sir.
We can use it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, kala tasmai namaha. So like
Yes.
so still being a traditional Ayurveda follower, do you tell hand churning is better than dandahata is better than blender, or you're okay with accepting that blender can be?
Better is hand churning is best, sir. The
So because
churners are available.
yeah, because Ayurveda has believed in some traditional system. There's no harm in
Yes.
using the modern equipments like a blender,
Modern. Yes.
electrical blender, and those things. The things also will go on quickly. So
Yes.
probably the hand blender also will give some good exercise to the arms. So number one, and we have also seen some hospitals, and also it's not a good practice like doctors using the vasti dravyas while mixing the enema ingredients. They use the mixer and the grinder to mix it. Actually, we can also
That's
argue on that particular aspect, but the hand
yes.
mixing and to make it a homogeneous mixture is very important there. That is why, in spite of having mixers, grinders, and everything, still we use the hand prepared method of
And
preparing the
definitely, sir.
vasti dravya. Yeah.
Definitely, sir. Definitely for Basti Dravas, never be use the mixers, sir. Handmade is very important, sir. There. Especially
Yeah.
as one example, I will tell you. Generally, we will consume buttermilk sometime in outsides where we are going to see that how the people are preparing. If you prepare, generally you can able to be feel that one. Just prepare the takra two types. One is by using the grinders or an churners instrumentally, and you prepare within a manually also. See the difference. Definitely, we'll get the even in taste and feel what we're going to be consuming. That will get it definitely.
More have a personal touch to the preparation.
Yeah, definitely,
Okay,
definitely, sir.
and also a lot of emotion to the preparation. Okay,
Yes, sir.
sir. So Vikram sir has a question. How is butter separated from curd? Sneha Rahita, you mentioned. How do you
Yes, sir.
separate Sneha? Is it the churning
When
method or? Yeah.
It's a churning method itself only, sir. In one point I left it while explaining, sir. What we're going to do generally, curd, when milk is being converted into an curd, on the base, on the curd, there will be a cream layer will be there, sir, always.
Hmm.
What we will call it as malai, cream layer of that, that can also be mixed along with the curd and then churned. That is also be one procedure is there. Or if not, we can able to remove that sneha, that is malai is completely actually like a buttery part only. Some
Okay.
people collect those things and they will churn and make it, remove the butter from that also. Sir. But
Hmm.
some portion of butter will also be there in the butter curd, especially when we'll go on churning, that is going to be floating on the curd, especially that's butter after the conversion. That is going to be collected by hands generally. What we are going to do in churners from that one will be directly taken.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, Swapnaji mentions, Materia Medica mentions that Takra made by 1 part yogurt plus 1 part, 1.5 parts water is Golam. Kaya Devo Nigantu and Materia Medica has difference in Takra preparations. Which one to follow?
So better go for the Nigantus. Not only Kayadeva, if you go to the Shrishruta Samhita also, I mentioned only one classification according to Shrishruta, that is Gola.
Mhm.
Because he explained about the Takra and he Gola, he explained that. So Gola is that without water, without Sara. There is no equal quantity. Gola is entirely, even if you go through Bhava Prakasha, Kayadeva, Dhanvantari Nigantu, Shrishruta, all the people will say that without adding water, with Sara. Materia Medica is taking the, which reference I don't know actually, but
Okay.
the reference is taken is from that is genuine one classical.
So, when we get a doubt between Materia Medica and Nigantu, it is better to follow Nigantu itself.
Nigantu, definitely, sir. Shastra.
Okay, sir. Expert's opinion taken. And Vikram sir has a question here. How is the taste of takra varied? Like different preparations have different tastes, maybe. Is
Yes,
it
sir.
based? Is it based on the dahi that is fermented longer, more the fermentation, more the thing, or is it based on the spices which we add?
No, sir. Different based on the fermentation, especially. 100% sure that the freshly dahi has been taken, generally, which is being made homemade dahis, especially. Almost they are having the Madhurasa Pradhana especially. And
Okay.
then if you go on keeping the long duration, that dahi also be if you kept for long time duration, and again you are going to churn, it will be amorous. Definitely there will be a fermentation is going to be taken place. Definitely there will be a changes in that on the basis of fermentation. As I said
Fermentation.
that the acidic nature, yes sir. The
Yeah.
bacteria will
So
grow, the lactic acid bacillus is there that grows and that will going to change the rasa of the takra.
yeah, Vikramji also has some series of questions. Quickly taking, how about dahi prepared from non-milk sources like coconut or cashews? What of types of dahi are prepared now? What is your take on that? Traditional
As
dahi
a fact.
versus non-milk
As
sources.
as frankly I said, I don't know about those things.
Yeah,
Frankly, I didn't prepare. I telling that I don't prepared or I don't use those things till
yes.
today in my life. Sir. So
Same here, me too. So I too don't have a very strong opinion or opposition to that. So probably it's taste based and interest based, how people prefer taking different types of this one. So yeah, Vikram sir, yes.
Well, the only reason for asking it was because here a lot of the milk, I mean, in the United States, a lot of the milk is prepared from cows which are treated very poorly. So that's why
yes,
there is proliferation of non milk based dahis. That was the only
yes,
reason.
yes, sir.
Yeah, so it was a
Yes.
appropriate question and also a topic to ponder upon. So it's an interesting question from where many thought processes starts. We should start exploring about those things and see how they fit into the Ayurvedic explanation. So thank you for that wonderful question, sir. And again, becomes this question is from what I recollect reading, fruits with milk is considered as incompatible combination, viruddhahara, fruits with milk.
Yes.
Is it considered compatible with dahi prepared from milk?
There is one type of takra has been mentioned, that is shadava.
Hmm.
Actually, Shadava is explained in another context of Patya Kalpana also, sir, where it has been used as an with the fruit preparations has been explained, especially the Shadavas. Sir. That is in a different context, but Kayadeva has been included that one under the Takra Kalpana.
Okay, thank you, sir. And Swapnaji has a question here. What is the English word for abhishandi? I heard it has hydrophilic, but doesn't sound right to me. I'll take this question, Swapnaji. So, right, hydrophilic is something which is attracted towards water or allows itself to be mixed in water. Here, Abhishandi has a classical definition given by Dalhana as Abhishandi dosha dhatu mala srotasam leda prapti jananam. So clearly there is a definition. Abhishandi is some material or food material which causes excess secretions, leading to excess fluidity, leading to excess obstruction of the channels of circulation in the body. So any food which leads to excessive secretions, like Abhishandi dosha dhatu mala srotasam. Srotas belonging to all dosha dhatu mala in all the channels of the body. Kleda prapti jananam. Kleda unwanted fluids it will generate. So such a food is called as Abhishandi, to make it short. Coming to Vikramji's one more question. Winters in India are usually mild. Should it still be recommended in winters where temperature are lower than 0 degrees Celsius or lower?
Tadi is Abhishandi, so it is not been mentioned in winter especially. Takra has been mentioned in winters because it's Agnidipaka, where in the winter there is a chances of to get the Agni, hampering the Agni in our body. So we are going to be using the Takra to increase our Agni in that context. Maybe I think so our Acharya intention, because in already in summer there will be an Agni Pradipta will be is there. In summer also, winter also be Agni is high inside the body, but by consuming the heavy foods, for that it may be having a chances of Agni Dipana will be hampering. So the Takra is going to be used in the context of winters. So it can be used in winters, sir. No issues, sir.
You mentioned about a very delicious preparation, what we do in down south, like Takra is cooked. Vikram sir has yet another question. How is Takra cooked? Does it have to be heated? If yes, how?
Actually, sir, generally there is a contraindication is there heating directly the takra or dadi on fire, sir. Actually, what we do that, as we said that tadka we will give that one.
Yeah.
Means as what we have to do first we should be means I'll just explain the method of easy method of preparation. We will take in oil, ginger, garlic, whatever the spicy materials you want to add it. First, heat in the heat oil and put in that one. After that one, remove from the fire and then add it to the fire. This is the method how the takra as well as the dadi can be added into a heat material. Because takra and dadi directly never be heated. It is a contraindicated. It is mentioned in the classics.
So once the vegetables or whatever we are using and the tadka has been put to that, when it gets cool, we will add takra and reheat it.
No reheating, no reheating,
Okay.
sir. After removing the from the fire, when it is hot, also be no issues. But it's not been directly poured on the fire when it is the vessel on the fire. That is called as Patra Paka Vishesha. When you are going to be preparing the formulations, where we are not going to add. As example, I'll give the honey never be going to be added in the fire when the preparation of avalayas and all. It has to be removed from the fire and then we are going to be adding to that one. So because honey never be directly heat on the
Directly
fire
heated.
in that one. Yes, sir.
Again, Vikram sir's question, there were several references to takra prepared without water. You have mentioned
Yes,
many preparations where takra is not like takra prepared without water. How is it
yes.
different from dahi?
Means the heat condensation will be there. There is a churning process is there definitely. There is a samskara is there. Manthana samskara what we are going to do in the dahi especially. So the samskara will give the changes in that dahi especially. That can be changes. So it is going to be told that as we said that no mardhanam gunavardhanam. So here churning is going to be imparting the properties of that dahi.
Why is it contraindicated in summer season?
Classically, it has been mentioned, sir, but generally, if it is a Okasatna, we are, especially in Indians, we are using, especially in summer itself only, rather than winters, more we are using in summer, sir. That is. Contraindication intention has been mentioned here because it's an Ushnavira Dravya. So, as classically given the references, even where high Pitta Prakopa conditions are there, giddiness, in those conditions, specifically the acharyas, what they mentioned that because of it's Ushnavira Guna, so it is contraindicated in summer.
Sandy ji asks what quantity of takra recommended for regular consumption. Is there a specific dose or a quantity? Which method of its preparation is good and healthy for regular use among all?
So it is not been mentioned anywhere. Whatever I got the references, the specific quantity of the this one. But there is a one cross reference has been going to be tell that according to the disease, according to the bala bala of the person, sharirika bala, dosha bala, all the basis, we have to be fix ourselves how much I can able to be consumed. Sir. That is one cross reference has been given for that dosage purpose. On that basis, we should able to be consumed.
It differs from
The
person to person, like.
person, yes, sir, yes, sir. Depends
Okay.
on the conditions of the
Okay.
person's health.
It also depends on how one likes to take it very regularly, or a practice, or a habit, or
Yes, sir.
adaptation to that particular food. Sir,
Yes, sir, definitely.
Herman Romanji has one more question. Would you please repeat about lactose intolerance people? What's the solution here?
Yes, sir. Because as I said that the milk and buttermilk, if you're going to compare their nutritional values, almost similar. Almost they are similar, but the buttermilk is prepared out of dadi. Dadi is prepared out of milk. So there is a long process is there to be changed milk into be a dadi, then dadi into be a takra. So there will be a lot of samskaras are going to be changes, but the properties are enhancing the same as like a milk itself only. So their lactose is not going to be present in the buttermilk here compared to, but the properties are similar. The nutritional value is the maximally it is similar as like a milk. So the lactose intolerant people can able to easily consume the buttermilk.
Lavanya Prasad ji asks for Amavata Sneha Yukta Takra is good or bad? In short,
For Amavata condition.
in Amavata conditions, Sneha Yukta Takra is good or bad?
It is not good, sir, comparatively, because Amavata means Kafaja, it is there. Kafaja, where it will be there, there will be a snare with Takras are the best.
Okay, interesting question. Hand churn, if you are churning Takra with hand, what should be the speed? Mr. Kare Ayurveda ji asks. Yeah, interesting question again. So, is there any speed or
No,
time?
sir, it's okay, but the shloka said that start with slowly, add little by little water, and it continues for one prahara. Sir, remember that 3 hours we have to be churned to prepare one takra.
Okay.
According to the Kayadeva has been mentioned that, but it is not that much time it is required, but it's slowly and steadily, not that much to speed and not that much to.
Have you seen anybody? Have you seen anybody using 3 hours for preparing one takra? Sir, probably we should get a person on daily basis to do that.
No, sir, I didn't see many such persons.
Okay, so yeah, so that's an interesting point you made, Karim sir, and very good question there. The speed. So everything needs to be taken care of while preparing.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Kari Ayurveda. Again, let's see if there are a couple of questions to finish. Okay, it takes longer on the planes. Kalpanaji, right? Swapnaji. Mardhanam Gunavardhanam, but doing in a fast pace ruins the nutrients. Is it right?
Yes, sir. Increases definitely.
If the speed is increased, the nutrients are destroyed.
No, sir. The speed is increased in here. Mardhanam Gunavardhanam, the context is saying that how much particle size has been going to be reducing, that much the efficacy of that medications has been going to be improving. Concept of Mardhanam and Gunavardhanam.
Gunavardhanam, okay. Quick answer here. Can lassi be considered as sweet takra?
Yes, sir, definitely. That is given in Pittaja Vikaras. That is the best one, sir, where Takra has been given with the Shakara.
Yeah, I think Kalpanaji's question has been answered there. And Swapnaji writes, is paneer good or samskara viruddha ahara? Your take on paneer, because we use a lot of paneer and paneer is a favorite food for many.
Yes, sir. Paneer is also be a byproduct of milk only. That is in Sanskrit, in Ayurveda, it is called as kilata. Just while going to read that one, paneer preparations also be explained by Acharya Tridosha, but it is a little bit of heavier, sir. Guru in nature, especially.
Well, interesting note there on kilata. We should also explore whether our acharyas also made some paneer dishes, and if yes, what. Thanks to our Abdul Karim sir for an interesting session which drew so many questions, and also for patiently answering so many questions. Namaste to all. Thank you.